Hey everybody, welcome to Sam's Doing Stuff. What am I doing today? Well, we're going to talk about what might be too much for the Eastonmade Ultra. Now I got to tell you right off the bat, the first limitation to the Eastonmade Ultra is you. That's right, there's no way you're lifting this log up here by yourself without hurting your back. And the Eastonmade Ultra does not have a log lift, but you're also not going to be able to put 14 tons of force on any log to split it. The Eastonmade Ultra has that, and it will go through a log like this. Now this is a 26.5-inch piece of cherry, and it weighs probably 200 to 300 pounds. So the first thing you gotta ask yourself is, when this thing splits in half, what am I gonna do with it? Well, one advantage the Ultra has is it has a very large work surface, and that's gonna help you to catch that round. And that's gonna be great for this half of the log, but what about this half? You don't want it to fall back onto the ground. Well, I use a stack of pallets. Set them right next to the machine, put your round on top of the pallets, then you can very easily take that round and roll it into place. Yes, I think most of us that do this type of work have some kind of a tractor. I have this little tiny Kubota BX, and it is all I really need right now to lift logs like that. It sure is better than ruining my back. Know your limitations and don't overdo it, please. Use a tractor. So the round is lifted in place. Let's split this sucker up. Now I put a bin here because this is cherry and I want to separate this species from my mixed hardwoods. But a couple of things that you want to watch out for when you're splitting around this large. You want to look for knots. This has a small crotch right here, so I want to split in between these. I'm also looking for checks. I want this to split as cleanly as possible because I don't want to be fighting with stringy stuff and wrestling this. I want it to split as cleanly as possible and get two nice clean halves. Let's give it a shot, see what happens. I'll do a voiceover and tell you if I run into any issues. All right, full disclosure, I got kind of lucky with this one. I just showed you right there, I could see a check, and I knew it was gonna split there. There are worse rounds. You can run into something with a lot more knots, and they will be a lot more difficult. So you just have to take smaller bites if that's the case. I like splitting it right in half. And you see how I did that? It rolled itself wide over, but that knife, I know it's a wedge, but I like to call it a knife on the Eastonmade Ultra, can just cut through stuff like butter. So even if your round goes sideways, you just run it through again. Now it's easy. Look at this. It's already shorter than the size of the knife, and it just goes through perfectly. And these are gonna make absolutely beautiful, what I call shingles. Just one little piece at a time, boom. You know, and now you're managing a piece that is no bigger than your ideal firewood pole round, you know, 16, 20 inches, if that's less than 12 inches because that wedge or knife is 12 inches high. So yeah, just two splits, one down the middle and one to quarter it, and you've got a perfect size log to work with. Now you can see I'm stacking the shingles. That makes things a lot faster. When you split it right, and it splits right, when it cooperates, you can end up with, number one, perfect, beautiful splits, but number two, a really fast production because you're able to just stack those shingles on top of each other and blow out two at a time. And that just makes the speed of the Ultra even more impressive. Here we go again, same thing. This one's just a bit taller, but I'm looking for that perfect shingle. Knock it off. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm just watching this myself and like, I just know these splits are gonna just be perfect. Yep, just stack your shingles one at a time, you know? And this is why I like the single wedge, guys. We've talked about this before. You just don't get that kind of precision. And do you see any chaff? Oh, there's a little piece. There's a little piece. A little bit of waste. Oh my goodness. But if I ran that through any type of a multi-wedge, it's definitely going to kind of splinter, because I'm looking for the grain. I'm always looking for the grain. And when you do these shingles like this, you're working with the grain. You're just splitting right along the way the tree is naturally grown. Nothing to fight, just goes right through like butter. Beautiful. So yeah, just a little bit of ingenuity, you know, a little bit of a simple machine and a small tractor. And yes, you can manage some pretty sizable rounds on this Eastonmade Ultra. Is it worth it? I mean, it takes extra time, it takes extra work. This is obviously like tree service wood. This is not your firewood processor poles, you know, the ideal 14 to 16 inch round. But the amount of firewood it makes, yeah, I think most of us agree, these big chunks, they make a lot of sticks, you know? Now, where do you stop? This is too big. Yeah, this is too big to put on the Ultra. And I'm not saying that the Ultra wouldn't hold it. I'm not saying the machine wouldn't put that wedge right down the middle and split it. But what are you gonna do? You know, physical limitations, your own physical limitations. When half of this monster comes off, you gotta do something with it. And even with the pallets on the other side, I don't know. I'm pretty strong and I wouldn't wanna wrestle with it. So there's another way to deal with these. Now, Eastonmade makes things that'll handle that type of stuff. Like the Axis. The Axis is ideal for the big tree service wood. They've got the SS 324, 424, and 524, all those skid steer attachments that'll split up those big rounds and make them manageable. I don't have any of that. So maybe don't sell your big box store splitter just yet. A lot of these splitters that you get from the big box stores will allow you to convert them to a vertical position. And that is fantastic for dealing with these really large rounds and breaking them down into manageable pieces. I have created a small, I don't know what you want to call it, a stand or a skid or whatever you want to name it. It's a figure H almost here. And what it allows me to do is to set the log down on, and with the tractor, I push that log all the way into position, and it doesn't get caught on the plate at the end of the I-beam. I'll show you how it works. So of course now this monster is only half as big and it's manageable. I can do exactly the same thing as I did with that round of cherry. It's actually smaller than what that round of cherry was. And that's all you gotta do. You just gotta take those big 36-inch plus pieces, split them in half. They are only half as heavy and they're a lot easier to manage. It takes time. It definitely takes time. Gotta work with what you got, you know? So I'm gonna finish splitting up that cherry, get that bin full, get it stacked, and just make some more firewood. So this is pretty cool. Number one, the supply is pretty good here. Yeah, I've reached my goal. I really have. It takes so much weight off to know, you know, I sell all this. That's all I really need to do. Everything else is on top. But anyway, so speaking of on top, this is the stuff I just split. This is that cherry that I just split up. Those big rounds. Look how beautiful this is. Anyway, right now, that's 19%. That's burnable. That's good, you know? And I don't have to split this open to show you what the moisture content is because I just split it. So yeah, this stuff was sitting, it was at least a year, maybe 2 years, just in a big pile of logs. My neighbor, this was that pile that I got, that huge score, and it's ready to burn. So, yep, sell it all. You guys know, a couple of videos ago, I was feeling so overwhelmed just by all of this supply that's coming in. As a matter of fact, my daughter looked out the window just the other day. She said, "Daddy, the firewood truck is here." Sure enough, they dropped off another load. It was like a half load, but it was the right amount, more. Always have more. And I just had this kind of aha moment, you know, where everything is ready to be sold. As soon as the truck gets back, it's being repaired right now. And the work is right here in front of me. All I have to do is do it. I made a little bit of dent in those big things. Yeah, got them into manageable chunks. And no, I'm not gonna lift those up. I'm gonna use the tractor over here with the grapple. With the grapple on, I don't need to mess with pallets. I can just pick them up with the grapple and set them up here on top of the stack of pallets. And yeah, go to town. Now, the most exciting part about this is everything is just gonna drop on the concrete. No more stacking, not for now at least. Let's get cracking. There we go. Making just some absolutely perfect red oak splits and dropping them right here on the concrete where they will sit until it's ready to stack. That's right. This is so easy. So easy. Just keep going. And those big rounds, I tell you what, if you can handle them, if you can manage them and not hurt yourself, you know, get them split down to a size that you know you can handle, there's a lot of good wood in there. And there's a lot of scrap for my parents because those are some nasty chunks. But yeah, even with all of the edges on the outside that are all rotten and nasty, the insides, oh, it's just gorgeous. It's just beautiful, beautiful splits. Well, this is the process for now, for the time being, unless something changes. I'm just gonna keep dropping bombs right here on the concrete. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you learned something. If you're thinking about getting an Ultra, or if you already have one and you're wondering, you know, how big of a round can I do on it? This will give you an idea. So hit those buttons, hit the subscribe button so you can follow along. We're growing this firewood business. I'm ready to sell. And I think in about 2 weeks, yeah, give or take about 2 weeks, I'm gonna be making my first deliveries. So, all right, appreciate y'all, and I'll see you next time when I'm doing more stuff.